What's up, gamers? It's your host, Cobra, and today is our 2021 year in review. So January of 2021, I took my first step into the crypto world by purchasing a couple of NBA Top Shot packs, and that was my introduction to NFTs. I then kind of backdoored into cryptocurrencies as a necessary part of that and grew from there. So for today's video, we're going to do a brief history of how the year went and some of the lessons that I learned along the way, as well as how I matured as a collector and investor. Then I'm going to give you a portfolio update on all of our core projects and where we're at today. And finally, I'll wrap things up with some predictions for 2022. Quick programming note, I always include timestamps in the description below the video so that it's really easy for you to get to the part of the video that you're most interested in. I know I have a lot to say, and not everybody has 15 or 20 minutes to watch an entire video, so you can get to the core content that you're looking for right away. Also, while you're checking that out, if you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button to help support the channel. It takes 2 seconds and really helps us out. From there, we purchased our first couple of Zed Run Genesis horses and a couple of legendary Guild of Guardians heroes, and we had our play and earn collection started. I didn't have much of a budget back then, so I had to be very careful and selective about what I purchased, trying to flip things for small gains here and there to help fund additional purchases. But because I wasn't doing a lot of buying at the time, I did do a lot of asking questions and research in order to learn everything that I could about the space. Around May is when NFT Summer really kicked into full gear, and this was a period of a couple of months where the market was truly booming. We had a huge influx of new users interested in and actively buying NFTs for the first time, bringing a ton of additional money into the economy and ecosystem, and all of the collectors that were there already certainly benefited. And frankly, anybody that started buying and selling NFTs at that time likely also made a large amount of money much quicker than they anticipated, simply due to market conditions. This is also when Axie Infinity really started to take the world by storm, and people that were early into that project were making huge amounts of money every month with their Axie scholars and breeding farms. Now, this was another miss because I had researched Axie several months before that and really was impressed at that time, but was intimidated by the fact that it wasn't on Ethereum, which was really the only blockchain that I knew at the time. So we didn't purchase any and start playing, and because of that, we missed the early Axie boom. Then in July, Zed Run turned on breeding. Now, I had purchased Zed Run horses months prior and had just been sitting on them, watching their value appreciate, but not able to actually do any playing and earning because I wasn't willing to race those horses. So when they turned on breeding, we were able to open up our breeding stable and start making some actual income from our NFTs, which was really, really cool. It was also around this time that I made investments into Crypto Blade teams and Axie Infinity teams. Those projects were of moderate success for me, but were exciting nonetheless because they were active games where we were able to play and earn. And for a period of time, it was really short with Crypto Blades, but for a period of time with each one, we were actually doing what we set out to do, which is play games on the blockchain and earn crypto. Then in late August and early September, I had my biggest flips of the year. Those came from projects like Parallel and Frontier. This enabled me to kind of level up, if you will, as a collector and investor, because now I had some Ethereum built up and was able to make bigger swings and bigger investments into the projects that we were most interested in. But all good things must come to an end, and the end of September marked the beginning of NFT Winter. Now, this is a period of a few months where projects had a much tougher time launching, and mints regularly failed to sell out. It meant the days of quick and easy flipping were kind of over, and as an investor and collector, we had to be quite a bit more selective in terms of where we were placing our bets. Now, this is also a period where we saw utility really start to take a hold and have an impact in the marketplace. Projects that were fully on-chain gained steam ahead of projects that were more centralized, and projects that actually had a product that was available to play today, even if it was incredibly basic, tended to do much better. We also saw lots of projects start to drop their tokens, and a token is a great and easy way to start adding utility to a project as well. This was one of the first things that I started looking for, and now is one of the most important items on the roadmap. And that brings us to today. So we're going to pull up the core portfolio, but as a quick reminder, a game being a part of our core portfolio means three different things. Number one, I've made a relatively large investment into that project already and likely will continue to invest additional monies. Number two, we're paying attention to that project every single day and trying to keep everybody up to date on the latest news. And third, and probably most importantly, it means that we're covering that project actively on the Freeroll. Guild of Guardians has been on an absolute tear over the last few weeks, and the floor prices for heroes are continuing to rise. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines or thinking about adding to your collection, it's time to stop snoozing and get active in the marketplace before the prices get even higher. Personally, our account is up over 70% since the beginning of December. This has primarily been in the last couple of weeks. We also purchased 2 additional legendary heroes during the Reborn sale, which boosted our cost basis a little bit, but because we had good luck and pulled a warrior skin, it added to our account value even more. Zed Run is down a little bit, but that is because I chose to sell another Genesis horse. This brings our stable down to 3 Genesis horses, which is smaller than I had considered the minimum, but that game has been very stale for us for the last several months, as we're unable to earn a profit today and are waiting for some changes to hopefully boost the outlook. Next on our list is the newest addition to the core portfolio and the one taking the place of Axie Infinity in its Legends of Venari. We've been playing this game a ton over the last week or so and having a lot of fun. Now, our investment into the game so far is relatively small. We have one 7 of 7 alpha pass that we purchased for 0.2. However, the value of that pass has risen, and the floor for a 7 of 7 pass is currently about 0.7. So we're doing nicely there. And in about another week or so, we'll be able to generate our first base pass. Chicken Derby, on the other hand, is still actively in its closed beta racing. We're a part of that beta. However, it's been awfully disappointing in that it is typically only open for a couple of hours a week, and during the holidays it was hardly open at all, so we haven't seen a whole lot of progress there. That's okay. They got to the beta phase really quickly, to be perfectly honest, so I'm not surprised that the app has a lot of work to go still, but because of that, the floors on our chickens have come down pretty significantly since the last time we talked about them, and we've lost over 0.8 ETH. Frontier and Riot Racers each had really strong finishes to the year, and starting with Frontier, they released merge tokens as a Christmas airdrop for black box holders. They also released the Stellar Key upgrades finally, which we were able to do a couple of days ago, and we are really pumped about. And then on New Year's Eve, they dropped the news that Ubisoft is officially their game development partner, which is massive news in this space. Riot Racers finished strong by having their driver's sale, which we talked about a whole bunch and spent quite a bit of money on, but are really happy with our roster. That has caused the market to shift a little bit as some have moved their dollars away from cars towards drivers, but overall our account value is still up. Out on the Solana network, Star Atlas finished the year really strong on a huge positive note as well. They released the staking game, which quite honestly is not much of a game yet, but gives real functionality and earning potential to the SHIB NFTs that we've been investing in. And the UI for this website is the best that I have seen so far. And in general, the Solana network is holding up really nicely. It was a really quiet end to the year for Bunny Nights, but they had a tremendously successful year nonetheless, and values stayed right where they're at because Bunny Night holders are diamond-handed. And finally, Defi Kingdoms also closed the year on a major run. Now, this has primarily been due to the rise in price of their Jewel token, and that went from under $7 when we started covering the project to north of $20 yesterday. All in, the Ethereum collections are worth north of 30 Ethereum in fair market value today, which is tremendous growth and something that I'm quite proud of. The non-Ethereum projects are doing almost just as well. We've put a lot less time and money into those, but we've picked the best projects on each blockchain, and that is reflected in the account values as well. Those 3 projects total up to a little north of 5 Ethereum. So no matter which way you slice it, 2021 was a huge success for us here at the Freeroll, but it's time to turn our focus to 2022, and here are 5 predictions for what I expect to happen this year. Gamers, the revolution is upon us. Prediction number 1 is that by the end of the year, and likely sooner than that, play and earn gaming becomes the dominant sector for all of NFTs. In fact, it's going to do so well, it's going to become the dominant sector for all of crypto. Number 2, gamified DeFi booms early in 2022. Now, this is games like Wizards and Dragons or Defi Kingdoms, and it has been a trend already. Now, while the AAA games are continuing to be developed and not quite playable yet, these games are much simpler but are able to be turned on quicker. Number 3, Guild of Guardians successfully launches its game by summer and onboards over 1 million new users by the end of the year. Now, this is because Guild of Guardians is a mobile game, and we already know how successful those can be just in the Google Play Store, but it is also a free-to-play game. This means that anybody interested in dipping their toes into play and earn can do so without having to purchase NFTs up front, and I know this team is concerned with making a pleasant and simple onboarding process for new users to enter the space. Number 4, 2022 is also going to be the year that we start to see gaming projects fold up shop. Unfortunately, this is a reality of the space as well, and to date, most projects have either been running in incredible market conditions or are still very young, and it's easy to survive when you're young because you haven't spent all of your initial money yet. But as a business approaches 1 year, it's typically difficult to keep going if you haven't turned a profit yet. And unfortunately, we're going to see a ton of that in this space as the winners start to get chosen. That means there's going to be losers too. Number 5, by Christmas, play and earn gaming goes fully mainstream. Now, sure, this is essentially the same prediction as number 1, but I really want to drive home the point that this is the year for play and earn blockchain gaming. We're already seeing major game studios talking about how they're adding NFT technology to their roadmap, or they've already made active investments into the NFT space today. It is here despite heavy criticism from their current customer base. But at the Freeroll, we're here to help educate those gamers to understand that the blockchain is here to deliver value and not something to be disgusted by. 2021 is over, and now so is this video. I hope you found this entertaining and informative, and if you have, make sure you're following us on Twitter so that you don't miss any of our announcements. Also, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button for us. It really helps the channel out and only takes 2 seconds of your time. I hope that 2021 was successful for you as well, and here's to making play and earn gaming the big news of 2022.